Oh, it's just art of the deal, guys. It's just art of the deal. He's such a genius. Now we have 10% tariffs on all the countries, and the market is in the green again. This is art of the deal, guys. Holy shit. Holy crap, such a genius. Dude, how has anybody not thought of this before? I'm adding tariffs. This will create jobs. I'm removing tariffs. Art of the deal. I'm adding tariffs. This will create jobs. I'm removing tariffs. Art of the deal. Bro, get me out. Get me out. Oh, man. Okay, next video. Next video. All right. What do you have? What do you have, Asmongold?
Mostly.
Closer to China, when in fact we've seen the opposite effect. The entire
Okay, so this is the 90-day pause on some tariffs. This literally just happened.
The world is calling the United States of America, not China, because they need our markets, they need our consumers.
Yeah, exactly. For people who are saying this is a 500 IQ, 40 chess move, just think of the amount of trades you'll never be able to get now that the trust has been broken, okay? The cost is much more than simply line goes up, line goes down. The cost is international relations, okay?
And they need this president in the Oval Office to talk to them. And that's exactly why more than 75 countries have called, because the United States of America is the best place in the world to do business. And as the president has shown great courage, as the secretary has said, in choosing to retaliate against China even higher. Elena, go ahead.
Hi, thank you, Treasury Secretary Besson. Can you explain more the decision making on what feels like a reversal here? I mean, just these went into effect less than 15 hours ago, these tariffs. Why the pause now? What led to that?
No, again, President Trump created maximum negotiating leverage for himself, and which tariffs went into effect.
Well, it's pretty obvious that, like, if the people that are coming to the table to negotiate, it would make sense if you're going to negotiate, he would give them a pause, so there's like an incentive for them to negotiate, right? So like it's positive for them, and it creates a reward structure around doing it. It's like if you kiss the ring, you're not going to have all of your crops burned. Like, I mean, this is what literally like barons did 1,000 years ago. I mean, is this really a fucking surprise? It's a ceasefire in trading. It is. He caved. He didn't cave. They did. And the thing is that how is it caving when these people have come to negotiate the deals?
Wait, fuck. Sorry, I was not putting it on screen. My bad. This is my bad. There you go. Okay, did I miss something? Did Asmongold become like Trump's biggest spokesperson? Can we listen to that again?
Pretty obvious that like if the people that are coming to the table to negotiate, it would make sense if you're going to negotiate, he would give them a pause, so there's like an incentive for them to negotiate, right? So like it's positive for them, and it creates a reward structure around doing it. It's like if you kiss the ring, you're not going to have all of your crops burned. Like, I mean, this is what literally like barons did 1,000 years ago. I mean, is this really a fucking surprise? It's a ceasefire in trading. It is. He caved. He didn't cave. They did. And the thing is that how is it caving when these people have come to negotiate the deals? Like, I don't understand why. How are they saying that he's caving? I'm confused. Well, yeah, I don't understand what they mean by that. A tariff ceasefire? Yeah, that's basically what's happening. Exactly. Yeah, I don't understand how his tactics are so hard to understand. Yeah, I feel like it's very simple. Yeah, it's the same as like, you know, Russia and Ukraine, while they're trying to negotiate a peace deal, they have a ceasefire. Like, this is very common. Of course this is what happens. The media's trying to play Trump as well. I went caving yesterday, prediction mobs. Yeah, anyway, what is this here? I'll read a few of these.
Didn't Russia break the ceasefire? And second of all, trade deals prioritize stability. When I think Trump did in fact cave, okay? Trump 100% caved. He caved to the public pressure. He couldn't handle it. He couldn't handle the world leaders smack-talking him. He couldn't handle his own people smack-talking him. He couldn't handle the fallout from what happened. He 100% caved. Absolutely. Like, because if he didn't, all of his billionaire friends would be mad at him, right? Trump's billionaire friends were fucking mad at him because they lost like millions of dollars. So yeah, he caved, right? And also, in addition, again, the Ukraine-Russia thing is not a good example, all right? Russia attacked during the ceasefire. They're still attacking now, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Thanks, bro. You
Oh, fuck. Sorry.
can make up more, bro. Can you make up more excuses? Well, what do you? Well, I'm just really confused by what you mean by this. So, like, if they're gonna negotiate the tariffs, then that's not really caving, right? I don't know. I don't. It doesn't seem like that to me. How does that make any sense? It's one way to reward trade negotiations. Yes, exactly. I don't even get this. What do you mean by this? Everyone wanted to discuss before this retard impose self-destructive taxes. Well, let me see here. It's not caving. He rewarded our allies and punished China. That's what it seemed like to me too. So there's no, there's no response, right? Yeah, I don't understand. People did strategies like this. They did stuff like this 1,000 years ago. This isn't new at all. What do you mean? Like, I mean, are people really so blind that they can't see such an obvious play? It's common, yes, of course.
The ones that we have lowered went into effect a week ago, or they were announced a week ago, and we've just been overwhelmed by the response from.
Excellent. Brilliant gambit, sir. Brilliant gambit, sir. Very well done, sir. Masterful gambit, sir.
Mostly our allies who want to come and negotiate in good faith. So we are expecting them to come with their best deal. As I said a week ago today, don't retaliate, hold your ground, let's see what happens. And China, they kept escalating, and now they have 125% tariffs that will be effective immediately.
Mr. Secretary, go ahead.
So China's tariffs are now up to 125%. I feel like this is probably, like, I mean, if I'm going to be honest, like, I think this is what he planned on doing the whole time. And, or at least this was one possible, you know, like this was I would say that before they did this, this was a theoretical win condition. Because basically now, if you're only, because like, if you have tariffs on the whole world, right?
So the equivalent of this would be you hired a carpenter to carpent your house. They burn down the house, they put out the fire, and then they burn down your neighbor's house. Art of the deal. Art of the deal.
It makes it harder for, like, it puts more pressure on your economy. But if you can use the tariffs as a negotiation tactic and then get everybody else to negotiate, pause those, and then focus all of your efforts on suppressing one country as hard as you can, which is what he's doing to China, I feel like that's clearly what he's trying to do, right? That's 100% what he's trying to do. And I think that was the plan all along, because in a lot of cases, like Vietnam and Japan and, you know, the United Kingdoms, like, these are not our trading enemies, really. It's China that he's viewing as a trading enemy. I think he's manipulating markets with his friends. Well, he's doing a really good job at it, I'll tell you that.
But China isn't our trading enemy. We also benefit from trades with China. I don't know, man.
Secretary, thanks so much for doing this. The 90-day pause when there were some tariffs, is that because of the whiplash?
China can choke U.S. economy more than the U.S. economy can choke them? Well, I guess we're going to find out.
PCAing across the financial markets. How much was, what we saw in the stock markets, a part of this decision?
No, it's because because of the large number of inbounds. We've had more than 75 countries contact us, and I imagine after today there will be more. So,
Asmongold, the retarded, do your homework, clean your room.
It is just a process problem.
I don't know anymore.
Each one of these solutions is going to be bespoke. It is going to take some time, and President Trump wants to be personally involved. So that's why we're getting the 90-day pause.
It just takes time, yeah, sure.
Secretary, there was a tweet that you and Secretary left before the Oval Office with the President talking about this. Can you talk about what that conversation was like and what you guys said to one another that was?
Yeah, I'm not surprised by this at all,
It's
bro.
all the President's decision, and the President had a level in mind to raise the China tariffs.
This guy Bessett broke the British pound back in the day. He knows how to kill another country's currency. We're China's biggest importer by far. We are the buyer, and their economy is based off selling as much as possible. This guy explains it on Tucker's podcast 3 weeks ago. Yeah, I mean, I feel like, honestly, the whole time, there were, like, in my opinion, I think Trump pretty much had two goals, right? to destabilize European trading and make them less concerted in their efforts to be able to collectively negotiate against the United States, and also to weaken China, just in a general sense.
And
I think those are his goals.
And why is destabilizing European trading bad?
Essentially, the 3-month pause in mind, and we were
I mean, good. Why is it good? Sorry, not bad.
discussing the exact wording. Sorry? Of course.
It's the president's decision.
It's the president's decision. It was the president's decision to wait until today. And again,
you're good, man.
as I've said in the past, no one creates leverage for himself like President Trump.
Shelby, go ahead.
Secretary, what does the president want to see by this, I think it's July 9th deadline to keep things paused? Is it just trade barriers coming down, or is it more than that?
Well, these are trade negotiations, but if countries want to come and offer other things, I talked about yesterday that we are thinking about a big LNG project in Alaska that South Korea, Japan, Taiwan are interested in financing and taking a substantial portion of the offtake. But again, in essence, that is trade because it will decrease the trade deficit that we have with those countries. So everything's on the table.
Yeah, I feel like, am I crazy that like after, and maybe this is not really a good thing, but the way that Trump does negotiations, it really seems, is like the way that they do in movies. Where it's like, if you do this or we're going to kill your family, or you do this or we're going to bomb this country or bomb something, right? It's basically like he has, like what he does is he pretty much goes and he is as extreme and brutal as possible.
Cinema, literally cinema.
No, it is. It's a mafia tactic. And I bet he did this in real estate. I bet he's done this with other people. And yeah, it's a power dynamic. It is. And the thing is that it's
so
intimidating
cool,
people. It is. And the thing is that it works. It does work. That's why the people that did it back in the days, everybody still knows their name. It's because they were so brutal and so good at doing this that they killed anybody else who went against them. That's it. It can backfire? Yeah, I know.
Why does Foods have 14 dislikes? What, on the stream?
He did it with Vince McMahon in WWE. Well, just look at the TikTok deal, Mafia tactics as well. Yeah, I think the TikTok deal is a great example of that, where he basically says, we're going to ban this unless you allow it here. And its value is only derived on it being allowed here. So we're pretty much holding your company hostage until you give us your company. That's basically what he's saying. Or sell it off so we can control it. That's it. And like you can say that it will backfire. Okay.
There's no 14 dislikes. I don't see it.
All right, we'll see what happens. It's dumb not to leverage America's global power in negotiations. Yeah. 6 bankruptcies? You understand that actually helps my argument, right? A lot of people declare bankruptcy as a financial get-out-of-jail-free card to an extent with businesses. They do it to leverage debts in different ways. They do.
There has to be a limit, right? There has to be a limit to how much Asmongold could cover for Trump, right? I feel like you can only have so many failures, right? So every single failure when it comes to other people is a failure, but then when it comes to Trump, it's a masterful gambit, sir. Masterful gambit, sir. Every single time there's a failure on Trump's part, he just somehow spins it into a success. What the fuck, dude? Get me out.
Do it to remove certain levels of accountability. There's a difference between Chapter 7 and Chapter 11 bankruptcy on like a personal level too. This happens all the time. This is again, like I think Trump is a scammer. Like he knows every fucking scam that you can do. Like that's it. And I guarantee you, like in the same way that Trump. This is what people accused Trump of whenever he was a real estate agent. He said, basically, I'm not going to pay you for the work that you did, but too bad. And if you want to try to sue me for it, I'm going to beat you in court and cost you hundreds of millions of dollars or hundreds of thousands of dollars. And like, maybe you'll win, maybe you won't, right? And so that's what he did. And by the way, that's a bad way of doing things, right? That's very, very bad. But at the same, he's a con man. He is. But the thing is that, of course, people are going to be in favor of that if you have that.
Dude, oh my God. But why are you spinning it as a good thing, though? You say he's a con man, and then you say he's bad, and you say that being a con man is a bad thing, and then you spun it as something that's positive on behalf of Trump. Like the way you made it sound is as if it was some kind of admirable trait. Like him being a mob boss was so cool and so badass, and being able to be to cheat people, to leverage people. I mean, like, this is even assuming that this is what he's doing. By the way, it isn't, okay? Trump has done failure after failure, and he has failed literally upwards, okay? Like he's not some kind of amazing cool person, all right? He's fucking, it's completely scuffed.
That person
okay?
that's advocating on your behalf. Great presidential candidate instead. Well, I'm telling you, like and for him it worked. He's a fucking billionaire.
A clarification on the 10% on the pause. What happened to those countries who just had 10% baseline tariffs, like Brazil and others? Are they still going to have this 90-day pause? Because you were saying that there will be a tariff of 10% for others. So what happened to those who just had a 10%?
Yeah, that's going to remain.
And do you call this an embargo to China?
Pardon?
You call this an embargo to China, a trade embargo?
Well, I'm not sure what you mean by the word embargo.
125% tariffs, like those, and then you impose 84%. Isn't this an embargo?
Well, it's not. Look, it's China's decision that we have the deficit with them. They sell us almost 5 times what we.
Again, Trump is a retard. Tariffs don't do shit. The way to beat China is by diversifying where you get your shit from, okay? Turns out if you get your shit from other countries and you get shit from China, but like it's a lower percentage, turns out that China doesn't have that much leverage over you anymore, does it? Turns out that you are actually growing faster than China maybe at some point, okay? It's just like, it's so stupid. Like, this was what I've heard, okay? What I've heard is that, like, China was actually struggling before this, okay? Like, China was actually struggling before this, but now, like, they've been given new life, all right? Trump has given China this brand new, toy, all right, to play with, and that's the
We
world.
sell them. So again, I think it's an own goal by China.
Mr. Secretary, with this signal that you're confident that you're going to be able to strike a satisfactory deal with all these 75 nations that approach you?
It signals that President Trump cares about trade,
a lot to do.
And that we want to negotiate in good faith. And as I said, each one of these is going to be a separate, bespoke negotiation. So we are confident that having seen the other side of where this could go, and it was like I said last week, the market didn't understand. Those were maximum levels. The countries can think about those levels as they come to us to bring down their tariffs, their non-tariff trade barriers. We're going to discuss currency manipulation, subsidy of labor, and
people have criticized China for manipulating their currency forever. Like, I remember hearing about this 15, 20 years ago.
Industry.
Secretary, as part of you, will the pause also apply to the sectoral tariffs that the president has announced?
Okay, maybe I'm stupid, maybe I'm dumb, but how are all the countries in the world supposed to negotiate trade deals with you in 90 days? Can somebody please explain that to me? Can somebody please explain how feasible this is? How feasible negotiating over like 50 countries over 90 days?
Pharma, lumber, anything else?
No, it's on the reciprocal.
Am I missing something?
Andrea, go ahead.
Mr. Secretary, so I want to ask you about what you're doing here. So the market is reacting crazily, right?
I haven't seen it.
Do you think that this move is going to change how
He doesn't even look at it? Uh-oh.
What? The markets have tanked, right? There's been a lot of volatility in the market.
Yeah, it's going down massively.
In terms of stock markets, but also in terms of. So will this move in your mind, do you anticipate that this is going to calm the markets down?
Well, I think what we've seen,
now? No, I'll pull it up after this.
The willingness by more than 75 countries to come and negotiate, I think now the market understands that everything they saw last Wednesday was a ceiling, and now we have a 10% temporary floor. And I think the market, my 35 years in the market, I always wanted certainty, so I think we've got more certainty.
But Mr. Secretary, Maggie, go ahead.
Mr. Secretary, why do people assume this is the last word? The president began this morning saying, be cool. 5 hours later, he announced a new policy. Why will investors in the market assume that this is it?
That's a good question.
Because, again, as I said, we've given 90 days, and the only certainty we can provide is that the U.S. is going to negotiate in good faith, and we assume that our allies will too. And
thoughts on the midterms? I think it really depends a lot on this. This is a pretty big factor. And so, like, if Trump can do this and come out ahead, I think that it will make all of the Republicans look good that stood behind him and were supportive of it. I feel like this is a very, very big component.
In terms of certainty,
that's what I would say.
We will see what China does. But what I am certain of, is that what China is doing will affect their economy much more than it will ours, because they have an export-driven, flood the world with cheap export models, and the rest of the world now understands, because when we put up our tariff wall, those exports were already flowing to the rest of the G7 and to the global south.
And you think Secretary, how much of this decision was driven by the bond market cratering overnight? What is happening? China selling their bonds?
I have nothing that says that, and we actually had quite a good 10-year auction today, and all this was, again, this was driven by the president's strategy. He and I had a long talk on Sunday, and this was his strategy all along, and that, you might even say that he goaded China into a bad position. They responded. They have shown themselves.
Bro, what are you talking about? You sacrificed all of our international trust and relations, economic trust, for this. That's something that just can't, it's not just recoverable, even if you roll back all the tariffs. There's damage that's already been done. It's done. The damage is done. This isn't some kind of 500 IQ move. Oh man, kill me, dude. It makes no sense. It just makes no sense. None of this makes any sense whatsoever.
To the world to be the bad actors, and we are willing to cooperate with our allies and with our trading partners who did not retaliate. It wasn't a hard message. Don't retaliate. Things will turn out well.
What's your message?
I think that's probably true. Because now that the other countries aren't being tariffed for a while, that gives Trump the stronger ability to focus more on China, because it will have like less of an impact on the economy if we're only tariffing one country versus all of them. I mean, that's basically it. I mean, of course. And it also rewards.
Okay. I wish we can ask Asmongold this question, okay? I wonder if you can ask him how tariffs work. Like, if we were to say to Asmongold, okay, give me the top to bottom. How do tariffs work? Give me all the cause and effect of tariffs. Do you think he's able to? Do you think he's able to define it?
It's not. Effective immediately, at some point, hopefully in the near future, China will realize the days of ripping off the USA and other countries is no longer sustainable or acceptable. Conversely, and based on the fact that more than 75 countries have called representatives...
Yeah, except China was never fucking ripping us off. Trades are mutual. Trades are mutual. Like, do you think that when a trade deal was made with China in the first place, that, like, whoever was designing the trade deal was like, oh, yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna be the stupidest person possible and let China take advantage of me. Like, what the fuck, dude? Like, of course people were considering that when they were making the trade deal. Like, of course people were considering, okay, shit, am I getting ripped off by China? Right? When they're making any kind of trade deal. What the fuck? Bro. Like, of course, like, we're getting exactly what we want out of the trade deal. That's what trade deals are. Trade deals aren't like, trade deals are set in stone. Right? Like, unless, like, if you want to change a trade deal, then, you know, you guys change the trade deal. But, like, it's not like we're taking advantage. Bro, how is it that every single economist, right? Like, you're really telling me that that every single economist was completely and utterly wrong about, like, oh shit, oh looks like you know, I didn't even realize we were getting ripped off the entire time. Do we actually think that some kind of massive conspiracy theory is happening where all the economists just got together and said, okay, we're not going to tell the American government that they're actually getting ripped off, okay? But they're actually getting ripped off.
Of the United States, including the Departments of Commerce, Treasury, and USTR, to negotiate a solution to the subjects being discussed relative to trade barriers, tariffs, currency manipulation, non-monetary tariffs. And these countries have not, and at my strong suggestion, retaliated in any way, shape or form against the United States. I haven't authorized a 90-day pause. See, this is exactly, bro. This is, again, fucking feudal lords did this. They said, we're going to give you all of your crops. If you don't give us half of your crops, we're going to come and burn all of your crops. This is how it is. And so, and we're going to kill, like, I don't know, 3 of your kids, just randomly. And so basically what he's doing, I think what he's doing is he's rewarding people that are willing to come to the table, kiss the ring, and negotiate a deal that's better for the United States. And when people see that, you're going to have the other remaining countries that aren't doing that, that now Trump has more leverage with them because he's not having to tariff the whole world. He can focus only on...
No, wait, Deckleberry, you're completely right. Yes. So, Australian tariffs. Exactly. So, according to the whole idea, again, there's no reason. Australia typically has a trade surplus, but in the context of trade with the United States, it often runs a trade deficit, meaning it imports more goods than it exports, okay? So, again, it seems as though Australia is one such country where the US is actually the one that benefits from a trade surplus against Australia. And Australia is the one that has a trade deficit. But at the same time, it seems as though Australia is also being punished, right? It's almost as though that Trump doesn't actually know what he's doing. It's almost as though that this isn't actually a 500 IQ move, right? It's almost as though like this entire decision is off of who can be the most retarded in the shortest amount of time. So, yeah, again, like everything Asmongold said, you know, over the last 2 videos have been like complete and utter cope.